Christ. This week I've been thinking about the journey that God has called me to take with His Son, Jesus Christ. And so this week I've been thinking about hiking and just kind of thinking about how our journey with Christ is a lot like hiking. How each of us is called to just, walk with Jesus Christ and to just go with Him as He takes us on just what I think is the most incredible journey that we can take. And as I've been thinking about my journey this week, I kind of thought about some of the men in the Bible who God called to take a journey. I thought about Abraham, and I wonder what must it have been like for Abraham to step out in faith, to leave his country and his people, and to just step out and to take this journey with the Lord. I wonder how hard was it for him as he took that hike up the mountain to sacrifice his son. And so I think about Abraham and his journey of faith. I think about Joseph and his journey of faith. Joseph didn't really want to take a hike. He didn't want to go on a journey. Joseph wanted to stay home with Daddy and be his favorite and dream a lot of dreams. And so I think about Joseph. Joseph's journey was kind of thrust upon him as God took him from the highest of highs to the lowest of lows, from a well to a jail, to the throne. Man, what an incredible journey for Joseph. So I think about Abraham, I think about Joseph, I think about David. David, who the Lord said, I'm going to take you on a journey through the impossible. Everyone else will say it can't be done, but with the Lord, it'll be done. And I think about David and his journey and his walk of faith with the Lord. What a journey for David. And then I think about the journey that Jonah took. Jonah said, there's no way I'm going on a journey. In fact, Jonah packed the things in his bag and he said, I'm going the other way. I am not going to be a part of the journey with the Lord. But you know what? Sometimes when we aren't looking for our journey is looking for us. And it found Jonah one way or another. And we could go on and on and on through the Bible and just look at some of the characters that were there and the journeys that they took. And I think there's a common mistake that we can make as Christians. We could sometimes forget that these aren't just characters in a book, that these are real people who were stepping out and walking in faith on a real journey, serving the same awesome God that we serve. They're real. And our journey is just as real as theirs. And God calls each one of us to go on this quest with Him. And there's a couple things that we can't forget as we journey with the Lord. The first one is this: we don't journey alone. Isn't it wonderful to know that as we hike through this world, as we take our journey, we're not just going on our own. We're not just out there trying to find our own way, but there is one who goes with us. We don't journey alone. There's a second thing that I realize. Not only do we not go on this journey alone, we've got a destination. We're not just out, going through the woods, just goofing off. We have a destination on this journey. Our destination is heaven. And as God's people, He says, come and be a part of this journey and wait till you see where I'm going to take you. Heaven waits for us. And so this morning I want us to think about our journey. How the Lord has called us to go on it. Where He's taking us and what He's doing in our lives. Hebrews kind of says it best. Hebrews talks about all the great cloud of witnesses, all the people we read about in the Bible who took incredible journeys. Hebrews says, therefore, since we are surrounded by this great cloud of witnesses, let us throw off everything that keeps us and holds us back, and the sin that so easily entangles us, and let us run with perseverance the course that has been marked for us. Go on the journey, is what Hebrews says. Get rid of everything that holds you back and holds you down. Why do you do that? Because you've seen how God has taken men and women in Scripture on this great journey, and he calls us to journey with him. And he says, let us fix our eyes on Jesus Christ, the author and perfecter of our faith, who for the joy set before him endured the cross. And so today we're going to just think about the journey. Now, one of the things we're going to think about today, one of the things we're going to focus on is not just even the journey, but also the destination. We're going to sing songs about heaven today. I love thinking about our destination in heaven on our journey. But we're even going to go a step beyond that. We're not just going to think about our journey, and we're not just going to think about our destination in heaven. We're going to really focus this morning on what the first part of that verse says in Hebrews. Throw off everything that would hinder you and the sin that so easily entangles you. There's a lot of times on the journey that you and I are carrying a lot of baggage. I got to tell you, folks, this backpack is getting heavy. We carry a lot of baggage on the journey, don't we? And there's times where we just want to say, Lord, man, I don't know how much farther I can go. But you know, that's the way the journey is. Sometimes we are working and we are just going through difficulties and challenges and it's painful. But then all of a sudden we look around and we realize, I'm on the mountaintop. And what a beautiful view from the mountaintop. But you know what, folks? You don't get to the mountaintop without a little work, without a little sweat, without a little pain, without a little bit of suffering to get there. Then you get to the mountaintop and you look around and you go, wow. And then there's other times in life where we realize, man, things just aren't going right. I'm stepping down. I'm going down. And before you know it, you're in a valley and you can't see the glory of the Lord. All you can see is the valley you're in. And how many of us have been to the point that I'm at right now where you're going, Lord, I need a break. It's too heavy. I can't carry it anymore. I need to just get rid of the junk. Oh, man. Folks, I got to tell you, that feels so much better. So much freer. Not having that weight on my back. And haven't you felt like that in life sometimes where you just say, Lord, take the burden off my back. I can't carry it anymore. And we're going to talk about some of the burdens that you and I carry as we journey with the Lord. Because we all carry them. There's a lot of different things. We carry burdens with us. Day after day after day, we carry these burdens. I know what you're thinking right now. What kind of an idiot would go for a hike and pack his backpack with bricks? I know that's what you're thinking, and that's okay to think that. But let me ask you a different question. Not why would a person go for a hike and pack his backpack with bricks, but why would a child of God journey through life with bricks in their backpack when the Lord has said, I have come and I have bore it all on the cross so that you don't have to carry it? Why would a Christian carry bricks through their spiritual lives when Jesus Christ has come and lived and died to take it away for us? Satan wants us to travel and to journey way down with these bricks. He wants us to have them on us all the time because he knows if we are way down, we can't travel, we can't journey like the Lord wants us to journey. I want to ask you this morning, what is your brick? What bricks are you carrying this morning? See, here's what we're going to do. I love this. I'm so excited about this. We've already done it once, as you can see this morning. But here's what we're going to do this morning. Jesus Christ wants you to be free. He wants you to journey without weights, without burdens. And what we're going to do this morning is so incredible. We are going to give you the opportunity this morning to just get rid of those bricks from your backpack. I want to tell you, this is a lot better without this. And this morning, we're going to give you that chance. If you received the bulletin, you'll see a little Post-it note in your bulletin. Here's what I want you to do this morning. I want you to ask yourself, what is my brick? What is it that I'm carrying? And here's what I want to tell you to do. Now, I know this is going to be different, but here's what I want to encourage you to do. Anytime during the sermon, anytime during the worship today, anytime during the communion time, I want you to take that Post-it note and I want you to write your brick on there. I want you to write, what is it? What brick are you carrying? Don't have to put your name on it. But just write your brick on that Post-it note. And anytime during the sermon, during the worship, during communion, you just come up and you just put that Post-it note on the cross. Because you see, Jesus Christ loves you. And he was willing to come to this world to die for you. Not just to die for you, but to bear those weights for you. There's no reason for a Christian to travel with bricks in their backpack. What's your brick this morning? What's your brick? Here's one. Negativity. Is this your brick this morning, negativity? I see so many Christians who just kind of travel through life and they have no joy. They've got no joy. They travel through life and you might not even know that they're a Christian because they're so miserable. And they just don't have any joy. And you want to realize, man, Jesus Christ came. He lived for us. He died for us. He reigns for us. He's coming back for us. And there's no reason for us not to have joy. There's no reason not to have joy. There is nothing that can happen to you and I in this life that can outweigh the joy we can find in a relationship with Jesus Christ and the hope of heaven where we're going. But you know, negativity can spread like a disease. And negative people have a tendency to make others negative around them. You don't have to be negative. You can have a life of joy. But the devil will come along and he'll place that brick of negativity in your backpack and he'll say, carry this for a while and see how much joy you get. Man, if that's you today, if you have a negative spirit, if you just have a hard time being joyful in the Lord, then today you need to come and you need to get rid of that brick. You need to write that on there and you need to leave it and you need to say to the Lord, listen, Jesus Christ, you reign supreme and you will fill my heart and my life with joy. And today I accept it and I leave the negativity at the cross. Maybe negativity is your brick. Oh, here's one. How about greed? Greed's a powerful brick. Satan comes along and he uses greed. And you know what greed says to you? Greed says, listen, if you just had a little bit more, you would finally be happy. Just a little bit more. Not a lot. Greed says, don't be greedy, just a little bit more. But the problem with greed is that greed always promises a lot more than it can deliver. Because when you get that little more, you won't be happy. You'll want just a little more. Maybe greed has a hold of you. Maybe you just want, man, just make a little more money. Man, just acquire a few more possessions. Man, just watch your stocks rise a little bit more. Man, just put a little bit more in your bank account. Just get a little bit more power in your life. Greed is so powerful, but greed will weigh you down and it'll make the journey so long and difficult. Listen, folks, there's no room for greed in the journey with Christ because He owns it all. And what you and I end up doing when we allow greed to come into our lives is instead of worshiping the one who blesses our lives, we begin to worship His blessings. It all belongs to Him. And so maybe today you just need to get rid of some greed. You just need to recognize that the Lord is the source of every good thing in your life. Whether it's money, whether it's possessions, whatever it is, it's from Him. And so maybe it's negativity, maybe it's greed, maybe neither of those are your brick. Maybe your brick is this one, doubt. Doubt. It can be very easy to begin to doubt God. That was Satan's ploy in the Garden of Eden. He just wanted to get Adam and Eve to doubt. Did God really say? Did he really? Does God really mean what he says? And does he really say what he means? And ever since the beginning, Satan has been in the doubting business. Get you to doubt God. You know how doubt shows up in our lives? You know how Satan very cleverly slips that brick of doubt in our backpacks? He convinces us that it's okay to read God's word and believe it, but you don't have to live it. He says, he convinces us evangelism is a great thing. It's good to witness, but don't actually do it. He convinces us that it's good to be holy, and it's good to be righteous, but you know what? Don't be a radical about it. And so God convinces us, and he places doubts in our minds. Listen, folks, on the journey, we can be sure of one thing. In the journey, we can be sure that God will always be true to his word. Oh, and if he said it, he meant it. And someday we're going to find out. There's no doubt that God is awesome, that God loves us, that he's provided for us, and there is no doubt that one day he will judge us. And so maybe today you just wrestle with doubt. Will God really do this in my life? Does God really love me? Can God really forgive me? Am I really a Christian? Could I really go to heaven? And Satan will want to place all kinds of those doubts in your life. Don't let him do it. Know that God is true and right, just like he says in his word. What else? Wow. This is a powerful brick. Maybe it's your brick. I hope it's not. But maybe it's your brick. It says cancer on it. Cancer can be such a heavy brick to carry. I know it can. I've carried it. At 18 years old, I carried it. And I know that when you hear that word in your life, cancer, it can absolutely overwhelm you and dominate every thought of every day that you have. And your whole world becomes about cancer. Lord, what are you going to do with my life? A life that has been marked with cancer. And maybe it's not you, but maybe it's a spouse. Maybe it's a parent. Maybe it's a child. Maybe it's a brother or sister. And when that diagnosis comes along, that's all you can think about every day is, what will happen? But folks, let me remind you, as God so lovingly reminded me when I carried that brick, let me remind you of this. Cancer is a physical disease, but it can't touch your soul, and it can't change your relationship with Jesus Christ. It can't make him love you any less. Cancer may be able to destroy you physically. It may. But God has created something inside you so much more beautiful and so much more powerful than cancer ever dreamed of being. Compared to God's grace and his mercy and his touch in your life, cancer is weak. It's weak. And so, you may say to the Lord, Lord, maybe it's me, maybe it's a loved one. This diagnosis is here. And maybe the Lord will heal you from it. Maybe he will.